In the book of Ruth, there hang a few verses we want to hold on to today. Ruth chapter 1, beginning at verse 19. Ruth chapter 1, beginning at verse 19. I got the NIV today.
What?
So the two women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them. And the women exclaimed, "Can this be Naomi? Don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara. Because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. When I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has afflicted me. The Almighty has brought misfortune upon me." So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth the Moabite. Her daughter-in-law arrived in Bethlehem, as I would want to say, as the barley harvest was beginning. One more time. Can I read that last one more time? The day is Pentecost, and Pentecost means harvest.
Yes, sir.
And somebody by some of the divine navigation, I've been navigated to this text, and I definitely give all the credit to the Lord because it definitely was not me. So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth the Moabite. Her daughter-in-law arrived in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. Turn to your neighbor and say, "Let me see, what's my text for today?" I'm getting old, y'all. Y'all got old pastor. No. I say things 2 minutes later, I forget them. Amen. Watch this. When God returned you to your place of destination for a harvest. Y'all gotta hear me in here. Look at your neighbor and say, when God returns you to a place of destination for a harvest. Amen. When God returns, watch this, to your place. Make that personal one. Tied like it needs to be tied up. When God returns to a place. Watch this. When you come to the book of Ruth, it is identified, has the iconic phrase of Ruth the Moabite. It is very interesting that we will really sit in what we will consider to be a Judeo-Christian context, but yet where our holy scripture and divine writings come from. For the people that God was shun, disconnect from, it appears as if he wouldn't have anything to do with. But yet in the most holy and sacred message and conversation that help identify you and I in terms of who we are and who he is, that God chooses to call the name of a Moabite. Can I help you? The reason why that is very significant to you and I, because Ruth is not born into what you and I would call the standard of righteousness. She doesn't have a pedigree of good background. Her bloodline is not blue. Her bloodline is not holy. Her bloodline comes from a very strange and an estranged place that most of us in here would kind of frown on, because remember, Ruth is the descendant of Lot.
Okay.
The Moabite comes from Lot, and you know how Lot, who lost his wife because she couldn't keep her eyes towards the future of where God was taking her, and was too tied up to the past where he had brought her out of. And because of that, they left Lot without a wife, and left his daughters without a mother, and left them without seed or future in terms of where they was going, because they detoured from where God was telling them. You need to catch this, because destination is always tied in to whether or not you're dealing in delight or whether you're dealing in dilemma.
Okay.
And because they didn't go where God told them to go, but they end up going where God said not to go. God didn't send them to the mountains. God told them to get up out of the land, show them a land. But because they were so fearful of the fact of what had happened in their past, they was trying to escape from everything and trying to deny what had happened. And they went into the mountains, and God didn't tell them to go to the mountain. God sent them where other people was living and had a new life, and where other people would breathe in them a new hope. And so they was trying to isolate themselves, and because they isolated themselves, they only had themselves, and so they began to depend on each other for the things that they shouldn't be depending on each other for. Can I help you in this room in here? Because there are people who often try to isolate, get away from what God is telling them to go, and they're trying to get in their own space. But the problem is, now you are only dependent upon what you have resources to be able to provide for yourself, and therefore God was sending you a place where somebody else would have breathed in you a new life, a new hope. They would have breathed in you. New people would have gave you a new experience.
My God. Help us, Lord.
Let me take my time and hear my voice already trying to cry, because I believe my emotions about to jump, shout, and get happy way before my voice is ready to get there. Can I help you in this room? And because they went in the opposite direction of where God was telling them, and they was only dependent on each other, now they had to create ancestral relationships in order to produce sons and daughters.
Right.
Did somebody hear me in here? That maybe you are in an estranged place, and maybe you're dependent on people and dependent on parents when you really should be dependent on others, all because you ain't listening to God and going where God is telling you. You going where you feel comfortable, where you can isolate, where you can get away from what you want to get away from. But God say, that ain't where I sent you. I sent you where somebody could be available to help you get through whatever you're going through. That's for people that say, I don't need nobody. I tell them people, you better check, look around, and figure that thing out all over again. I keep on asking, sister, what is an independent woman? What is that? That's somebody that gets up, got their own oxygen? Is that somebody that gets up and have their own bank and their own reserve? What is that? Is that somebody that get up who's able to build their own car, supply their own eye, know how to build their own house with their own resources? Is that what you call an independent? I hear men talking about, I pull myself up by my own bootstrap, and a whole lot of time I look at their feet and they got somebody else's shoes on. How you the rest of it. God said, no, I don't want the book called Naomi. Even though she's the co-contributor. Even though much of what takes place in the book is because of what Naomi coaching and Naomi teaching and because of Naomi's pedigree. And somebody in here need to hear me when I say that this morning. That's God who strategically, because when you read the book of Ruth, you can't talk about Ruth without talking about Naomi. You already know that Naomi is the source, the reason why Ruth ended up in Bethlehem. You already know that Naomi is the reason why Ruth knows how to cook Boaz. You already know that Naomi told her how to get her man and how to make sure that she present herself to a man. You already know that it would not be a Ruth story without a Naomi story. But God in his infinite wisdom, so that you and I wouldn't think that it was about bloodline or it's about you being perfect or it's about you meeting the standard. God said, don't call it Naomi, call it Ruth. Can I help you in this room as I help myself? That maybe God has allowed things to be identified by the lesser so that he can maintain that he is the greater. Did somebody hear me in here? Maybe God had it labeled and called by the lesser so that he can remain to be the greater. Because you know that when you and I think that we measure up and we meet up, we have that kind of cush kind of mentality. We have that kind of Canaanite mentality. Let us build a tower up to God so that we may be like him. And God knows that you'll never be like him. But he needs you to know. So every now and then he has to confuse your language. Every now and then he has to confuse your righteousness. Every now and then he has to confuse your order. Every now and then he has to confuse the way you see it. So you can keep on saying that it ain't nobody like him. Thank you. That's a shout in this room for every time I thought myself to be better than what I really am. But by the grace of God. Yeah. Y'all forgive me. I don't mean to do that. I know we got Dr. hanging over there in the corner, and she said that doesn't go with my new stuff right there. But every now and then you got to get that shout out because you know that had not been for them. You know that if he didn't keep my mind, you know that if he didn't keep my family, you know that if he didn't keep me, it wasn't me. Oh. That's all right. I told y'all my voice wasn't really there right now. Let me slow it down because I got about 4 points to drop and get all the way out your way.
Take your time. Amen.
Ruth leaves with her husband, Elimelech, her 2 sons, Maon and Gideon. They leave Bethlehem because there was a famine.
My God.
All right.
Help us now.
Y'all forgive me. And y'all folks looking at that, something wrong with Pastor. And just a little bit. Watch this right here. They leave Bethlehem in a time when there was a famine, which raised the question, Brother Myron, whenever is it a good time to leave where God has designated for you to be?
Wow.
Watch this. They leave Bethlehem because it is in a time of famine. But their place of destination and their place of calling and their place of purpose is in Bethlehem.
Wow. My God.
Can I help you in here? See, her husband's name, Ahimelech, means God is my king. And if God is your king, then your king has the right to tell you where to be. If God is your, I know. King takes up on different type of mindsets in the culture. When you're in Western culture, where there's presidents and where there's governors and where there's mayors, and you don't understand what it really means to be hollering that he's my king. I see you, sister, be talking about that's my king right there, but he can't even tell you to get up and go get him nothing. He ain't no king, amen. I be talking about that's my king up there, but he can't even get your service. How can he be a king and he can't get any service from a queen? You don't understand what it means to have a king that the king get to make decisions about your life. As the king has the ability to make decisions about, he has authority over you.
Yes, sir.
That's right, God.
And so what he actually says that, he said, my sister looking at me like, you better leave that alone, Pastor. I ain't meddling today. I ain't meddling after church. Watch this right here. Watch this right here. And so his name means, Ahimelech means, God is my king. But soon as the problem arises, Ahimelech is ready to take his family and leave where his king had dominion and where he ruled, but his king rules everywhere. But he's trying to leave where his king has designated for him to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Watch this, you got to catch this. I don't care what the problem is. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what the issue is. There's never a reason why to leave the place of destination where your king has determined for you to be.
Come on now.
I'm gonna mess y'all up in here. I'm gonna mess y'all. Watch this. There's never ever a reason for you and I to ever leave. Watch this. Where our king has determined for us to be. One more time. Never, ever, ever. There's a reason for us right here to watch this. So he leaves Bethlehem, looking for a better place. But there's never a place that is better when God is not there.
My God.
Or when God has not sent you there. When God has not sent you to a place, it would never be better than the place where God has sent you. It may not look like much, but if God sent you, it's the best place for you to be. May not have your standard of what you would like, but it's the best place where God would have you to be. It may make you uncomfortable. It may not be the comfortable place to be, but it is the best place where God would have you.
Oh, my man. Come on now.
Can I help you in this room?
Yeah.
Watch this, watch this. So they leave Bethlehem and they head towards Moab. And when they go towards Moab, the issue is that now Ahimelech, who leaves, according to his wife, full. They are full. She's full. The family's happy. They running from the famine, but they are full. Isn't it funny how it is that they are full, but they're leaving from a famine place full. Yeah. Somebody in here missed that all together. Now, watch it. They're in a famine place, but yet they are full, Sister Kirma. They're leaving, one more time, a famine place, but according to Ruth, that when she returned, she said, I left full. I left a famine place and I was still full. And I'm trying to suggest in the room that even when there's a famine, that because God is there, you still gonna be somebody here just about get it. So watch it. They're looking at the prognostication in terms of the economical situation that is about to come their way, and they decide to run when they realize that you're running from the place that was able to have famine, but at the same time keep you full. Famine, but at the same time still give you joy. Famine, but at the same time can provide healing. Famine, but at the same time can continue to give you peace. Famine, but at the same time can provide for you security.
Yeah. That's good. Woo.
Thank you, God.
Thank
The
you.
blessings of growing up in the city.
Wow.
You can have all the issues that people say, but you can walk out of the house more happy than folk that got more money than you would ever imagine. A house bigger than what you could ever think of. But you have a God that keeps you full no matter what else you may not have. And I thank God for that. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Because sometimes we need to learn that lesson. So God doesn't stop them from leaving. God don't hold them up from leaving. God let them walk away with their full self, away from him, and never contest them leaving, and never ever say anything, and never stop them, even though he has a sovereign power to do it.
All right.
Because God knows something about you and I. Until we feel like it's our choice, we ain't gonna never be satisfied with the choice that he makes for us. All right, let me leave you alone in here. Okay, point number one. Point number one is this right here. I told y'all my mind slipped. I'm trying to get this just right today. I don't want to say something and have to revise my own points in here. Whole thing don't want to work for me.
Turn around.
That's all right.
Turn around.
Try not to turn around.
Ah.
Oh, watch this. Let me pull on my memory. Watch this. When God returns you back to the place of your destination. When God, point one, I gotta turn around. Listen, when God returns you back to the place of your destination with your assignment and a place to perform it. Watch this. Let me work it out, and I don't want to take a long time to work it out because I don't want to, yeah, we almost there. I don't want to beat time today. Amen. Watch this. Point one is the reason why God didn't stop them, because he knew that they could learn from him what they can learn from somewhere else.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
He knew that they had experienced the misfortune of not having him and not being connected with him and not being provided by him and not being protected by him in order for them to understand and value him. And every now and then God steps back from our human experience, and even though he's there, he doesn't participate because you told him you don't want his participation and you don't want his involvement and you don't want him to be messing in your life and you don't want him meddling in your life and you don't want him to be telling you what to do. You just want him to make you happy. And since God is no kind of Santa Claus or no type of genie that you can just rub and get what you want, God says that either I'm the Lord of all, but either I'm not the Lord at all, and I give you the right to make a volition to step out of the way so that you can have your
Wait. Right. Come on.
All
right. Come on.
and he allows elect Mayon, Gideon,
Yeah.
and Ruth go their happy way.
Yeah.
I mess you up in here because her husband name meant the Lord is my king. Her name meant peasant.
Right. Yeah. My God.
Boy, look at here. Watch it. You know, they didn't play with names. Names meant something and dictated something. Her son's name means sickly and pain.
Yeah.
Watch somebody here. Watch this, watch this. Watch this. Isn't it funny? When we really just got peasant disposition, had not been for the grace and the goodness of God that gives credibility to our peasantness and make us significant in places where we thought we wouldn't get to be significant, and as soon as we find ourselves feeling a little significant and feeling a little important, we forget about the God that gave validation to us when we didn't have validation. Start acting like you always had it. Start acting like you always been out. Start acting like you've been here all your life. You know you was a peasant. You know you were born on the wrong side of the track. You know that if it had not been for God's grace, you wouldn't be where you are. But God has a way of taking peasant people and making them significant in the human experience.
Yeah.
And in spite of all God did for them, they still walked away from him. In spite of the fact that God blessed them, they still act like they didn't know him. In spite of the fact that God opened the door for them, they still closed that door and try to make their own.
Yeah.
Come on. Woo. That's all right.
Okay, watch this. They leave. God allows them to, because God has somebody that he wants them to connect with that'll help them appreciate what it's like to have a false God. Watch this. Ahimelech leaves and go to Moab, but he dies in Moab. Leave Ruth, the widow, and leave his two sickly, painful sons in the condition that they was in, with no directions in terms of who and how they should choose a wife.
Wow.
But I thank God for God's grace some kind of way. He would take the stuff we don't know and help us to do exactly what he needs for us to do. And so what God does, he allowed one son to choose Oprah. And he allowed the other one to choose Ruth. And now watch this right here. Now Oprah ain't who Ruth is. Oprah is more from.
My
They have something that she don't have. They know somebody that she don't know. They call on somebody that is able to keep them even in a crazy place with crazy people.
Come on, man. Come on.
And while Ruth is married in covenant relationship with him, Ruth has borrowed the covenant relationship that he had with his God. Somebody in here can help. I'd rather take a sinning saint than a sinner that don't want God any day of the week. I'd rather take a saint that is out of his will than to have somebody who don't want him. Because a saint who's out of his will is still in covenant relationship, and God is still obligated to bring them back, to restore them, to heal their backside, their backsliding. He's still obligated to forgive their sins. He's still obligated, not for their sake, but for his name's sake. A sinning saint has more problems than a one that don't want God any day of the week, not because of them, but because of his name.
Yes, sir.
He promised Abraham, I bless your seed. And he didn't put no conditions on that. He promised Abraham, I protect your seed. He promised Abraham, I bring them out. He promised Abraham, I keep them and bring them into a land. I feed them with milk and honey. He promised Abraham, and because his name is on the line, no matter what Abraham's son has done, God is still going to keep his promise. Yeah! Therefore, we talking about, I'd rather not even go to church. Lie. You better go, because even though they're sitting in the church, they still under covenant relationship. They still got a God that's going to forgive them. They still have a God that's going to redeem them. You can live out there. You can be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if you want to, and think that you better with sinners. David said, I'd rather be a doorkeeper than to dwell in a house of the wicked, because the wicked don't have no consciousness of God. The wickedness don't have any ties to God. The wickedness don't have any hope concerning God. But I take an old sinner saint and go right alongside of them and tell them, let's both pray. I may not know how to pray, but Ruth, Naomi, if you pray, I listen. And if you pray long enough, I learn. And if you live once, I learn. Then I pray for you. I thank God for the Ruth that come alongside of sinning saints like Naomi, who's out of place and disconnected from the blessing for the moment, and learn that if I can learn what she know about her God, my life will be better and her life will be better. And that's why you hear Ruth saying, where you go, I'll go. Your God will be my God. Your life is messed up, but your God is still good. Your life is tore up, but your God is still alive. Your life is tore up, but God is still able. And so Ruth says to her, I go where you go. You've experienced tragedy. Your husband died. Your two sons died. She didn't say you was cursed. She said, I still see the blessing in you. I still see a breakthrough in you. I still see a hope in you. I still see a better day with you. And so I'd rather run with you. With all the misery you're going through, I think I hear Luther coming in my spirit. I'd rather have bad days than to have good days with somebody else. Is there anybody in here want to throw up your hands and say, I'd rather have bad days with a saint than to have a good day with the wicked? Okay. God allows her to go out so she can come back, but when she comes back with her assignment, and then she comes back to her assigned place. Let me drop this in here. I didn't want this sermon to be long. Watch this. You do know that you can't work your assignment until you get to your assigned place. Okay. Ruth was with her in Moab, but she couldn't work the assignment, even though she had the assignment with her. The assignment only works when you get to the place of destination for the assignment to begin birthing. Some of us try to work assignments. I know what my assignment is, you just don't know where it is. You need to get to the know of what and where and recognize it can't be worked anywhere else except where God said it needs to be. Woo! Can I help you in this room? So she comes back. She has her assignment, and now she's back in the place. The problem is her experience experience in the world, that opposite of the place where God has called her to be, have worn on her. It has left her broken. And in her words, it have left her empty. Watch what she says. I went away. Watch it. He says, well, they meet, they see the two women coming. Now, you know, in that day, women wore clothes that depict their situation. Y'all do too. That's why I think a wife shouldn't be wearing something too hot and make her look like a hooker.
Come on.
Kim, I can't get away with that. You can't get away with that.
Yeah, come on with it, Ray.
If you're white, then you are not dressed like a hooker.
Yeah.
Because you want to get somebody trying to find that's ready to trick over somebody that's ready to treat you right.
That's all right.
Yeah, I said it. A wife ought to dress like a wife.
Yeah.
A mother ought to dress like a mother. Yeah. A husband ought to dress like a husband. Yeah, you shouldn't walk around trying to show your biceps and triceps and all that and bulges and things like that. That belongs to her. And if you don't play, you're going to catch a Marina Bobbitt somewhere around there. If you don't learn how to play, you're going to find misery. She's going to chop out both of your legs. And you're going to be caught in the cold snow of a life experience. Boy, you better recognize if you're a husband, then you need to dress like a husband, look like a husband, show up like a husband, talk like a husband, put on blindfolds like a husband. I can't see nobody with you, baby. And so when the women came walking in, watch this, brother Brad. I'll keep this for the next part two. We ain't gonna keep it to part two. Watch it. When the women came in, watch this right here. Watch this. Watch it. They one dress just like what she's been through. Raggedy and straggly. She's been living. She left full. Now she's empty. Now she left with her money. Now she's came back with I don't know. I ain't calling no store name. Maybe yours. We came back in here dressed like she was bad to get dressed this morning. Watch this. And she, as they walked through the door in the other primary, one dressed like a Moabite. Now, who is that husband coming through that gate? Girl, you notice the text says that all of the women was like, wow, ooh, look at that. You look at the explanation mark, because they saw it. They saw one that wasn't no threat, but she was pitiful because they were familiar with her. They saw the other one coming in, and even though she's a Moabite, sister still has some stuff going on for her. And they say, boy, she put on the right clothes, she's going to end up with your husband. You better come, send both of them out. Said, don't let them in. Somebody lock the gate. A Moabite coming. Yeah, somebody lock the gate. The seductress is showing in. Somebody lock the gate. The incestual woman that come in. She ain't got no boundaries. She'll cross over your marital boundaries. She'll cross over your relationship boundaries. She come from a no boundary kind of place. You better lock that gate. Ruth that showed up and Naomi that brought some husband with her. She didn't think that was a conversation among the holy folk. You didn't think that the same folk that had been reading God's word was talking like that. You don't think those sisters were looking around and grabbing their husband and hitting him and talking, you better look the other way, look the other way. You better not go ahead. You got something to do, don't you? Yes, sir. And God has a way that'll make it. You may be tore up, but when you show up, God still have people to see the worth and the value that's still in you. Listen, tell them, I messed up, but I'm still a threat. I messed up, but I still got it. I messed up, but they still looking at me. I messed up, but I'm still turning heads. I messed up, but I'm still getting attention. I messed up, but somebody still want me. Let me leave you alone. Let me leave you alone. Watch this. Got to get out of here. Your church too hot. Watch this. Pastor, don't do that. Yes, I am. I enjoy preaching, so I'm preaching in here. Watch this. I live among y'all every day. Amen. That's all I said. No, we doing that. All right, Pastor. For your sake, I hope. Watch this right here. Watch this in the text. Watch this in the text. So when they show up, the women get excited. But all of it ain't good excitement. It's kind of negative excitement. And look at her, because you know she don't really look like herself anymore, and they start saying, "That's Naomi." Is that Naomi? Naomi? Ooh, girl. Them streets are over. Watch it. It's right here. And so when she come, they start saying, "Naomi." You know how y'all do. Naomi, girl, I'm so happy to see you. Naomi. Here's the sign. Pull beyond that hypocrisy that she knows that that ain't what they really thinking about. Naomi get to the point of be real transparent and say to them, "Why you call me Naomi? Call me Mark. Because I'm bitter." Can I help you with that and I'll leave you alone and I'll hit these others points and we get on out of here? She said, "Call me bitter." But watch this. And then I promise the Holy Spirit help me here. I told you I ain't that smart. Holy Spirit got to help me all the time with these words in the Bible and things like that. He says, "Pastor, God will send you back with the right," watch this. What's that? Let me see. God will send you back. He will return you with a destination, with a designated disposition. Remember, she left full. She left talking about she going to a new place. She left talking about she had it together. And she wasn't going to be suffering with these folk that ain't got nothing. And she ain't going to be leaving this here. They ain't going to be staying in this old neighborhood. I'm getting on out of here. We moving on up. We moving on out like the Jeffersons. But the problem is she came back like good times. Came back empty. Couldn't rub two nickels together, make them work. When she came back, she said, "Call me bitter." Holy Spirit said, "Pastor, God would always send us back after He allowed the devil to bite us." You can't do bitter without doing bitter. They left Bethlehem, the house of bread, the house of God's protection, the house of God's goodness, the house where God would keep them, to go into a house or land where they didn't have the hedge of God's protection and didn't have God that will protect them but allow them to have. And when they went there, the devil beat them. Beat them till he killed her husband. Beat her until he killed both of her sons. Beat her until he took everything that she had. Beat her till now she's empty. Now why she left full and from a place of famine, came back when the devil got through with her and she ain't have nothing and he ain't have no more use to her, for she was too old to marry, too broke for somebody to pay attention to. She was too sad for anybody to enjoy him. You watch it, and then when the devil got through with her, he allowed her to return. You notice as long as she had someone, the devil kept her right where he wanted her. As long as she had her husband, the devil kept her there. As long as she had two sons that could do that, he kept her. Soon as she didn't have anything, he allowed her to come back. Finally, her mind said, "It's time to go home." But when she gets there, she's bitter because she says that the Lord's hand was on her. I say it's because the Lord's hand was not on you. Because no matter whether if God's hands on you, you can be in the pit and you'll still be blessed. You can be in the prison and you can still be blessed. You can be like Jonah in the middle of the sea and still be blessed. If His hands is on you, God's hands on you will keep you no matter how bad it is, how miserable it is. I suggest to Naomi, it ain't because His hand was on you, it's because His hands was not on you, and because His hand wasn't on you, the hands of your enemy have now destroyed you and depleted you and used you and abused you and left you without anything. Had His hands been on you, your husband probably wouldn't have died. Had His hands been on you, your sons would still be alive. Had His hands been on you, you left the house of bread where healing was, where deliverance was, where protection was. You left and moved from under but a bitter experience.
Yeah.
Watch this right here. God will return you to your place of destination with the right, watch this right, with the right perspective. He know you couldn't come back happy, because you'll talk about how good you've been without him. You'll come back talking about how much you gained since you've been out in the world and since you've been in Moab and you were he has to allow you to come back with the right disposition.
Yeah.
And he knows that the right disposition is for you to recognize that without him you ain't, and you have, and life ain't worth without him. And so she comes back because now she discovers that life without him is worth nothing. You have nothing, and without him it ain't nothing. Right disposition. Some of us right there right now. Come on, my God is emptying me because he's trying to get you with the right disposition so you can see him correctly, so you can measure him according to who he really is. Yeah! Watch this right here. Let me go, Bob. Let's get to the next one before I can get us out of here. Watch this right here. I got to leave it alone. I got Sister Barbara fan in here. Watch this right here. Well, he returns you with the right, with a designated capacity. Y'all gotta like this one. Watch this, because she says, call me Mara because I'm bitter.
Yeah.
Then she turned around and says this right here. I left full. You know, that's still getting me, Brother Myra. How you leave full from a place of family? What she said, I left full, but I came back empty. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Because God knows that there's no room for him as long as you're full of yourself. And you're full of something else. And you're full of your stuff. And you're full of your ideas. And you're full of thinking that your choice is better than his. And your place is better than his. So God allowed her to return with the right capacity. Y'all forgive me. I promise y'all I'm through right here. Watch it. She leaves full. Because God has provided for her, and she has been living in the comfort of his provision and his goodness. When I think about Naomi, I think about a prodigal son who leaves the house with a lot and comes back with nothing, but only to come back to a father that has the capacity to give it to you again. But you got to get the right attitude. But you got to get the right mindset. But you got to get the right disposition. Because as long as you got a bad disposition concerning him, God is going to empty you until you realize that you need him. She returned with the right capacity. Woo. Y'all, I'm getting happy right here, right here, right here. I'm getting happy because I'm at the last point. But I'm also getting happy. Watch this. I'm also getting happy. Watch this. Because of this right here. He returns you at the designated time. Now watch this. This is Pentecost. This is harvest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah!
Hallelujah. Increase.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. Feast of Ingathering.
You know, all the way through the text, she been blaming God for what she decided. She decided to leave with her husband. She decided to leave in a time of famine. She decided to leave God. And even when her husband was gone, she decided to stay where he led her. Because as soon as he died, she was no longer obligated to her king. She could have came on back, right back to Bethlehem. But God knows she wasn't ready. Because there's somebody in the text want to blame it on the husband. She only went because her husband said go. Watch it. Her husband was dead and she was still there. 2 sons had to die before she decided that now it's time to go. Want somebody in here one more time in here? One more time. So that you don't blame it on her husband in the text. So that you don't begin to say it was his fault. So that you don't begin to say that it was him. Watch this right here. Hear me real clear in this. Watch this. She leaves. And the reason why she now leaves is because now her mind is in the right place. Her capacity is in the right place. And now she just needs to return to the right place. And so God is now to where he can restore her and bless her and turn her. Watch this right here. And God allowed all that could go wrong in her life to be able to go wrong in her life in order that he may fill her life. Somebody even better shout in this room now, because people want to charge God with being evil. And God, watch this. No. She didn't come back last year. She didn't come back 6 months before barley time. She didn't come back a month before barley time. She came at the season when it was a barley harvest. So watch this right here. God, first of all, he worked on her mind so she could have the right disposition towards him. He gave her assignment so that she could save somebody that was outside the walls. Because if there's anything that justifies us from leaving the house of God, in the place of God, it's so that we can go get somebody else and bring them back to the house of God. And so God says, I won't allow your backsliding to be in vain. I'm going to take your bad experience and turn it into a blessing. Is there anybody in here? You won't understand our God. He'll let your bad experience turn into a blessing for you and for somebody else. Don't throw away your troubles. Don't throw away don't curse your crisis. Don't curse your falls. You learn how when you go down, ask the Lord, why God did you let me get this low? It must be somebody else that you want me to bless. It must be a testimony you want me to tell. It must be something. Watch this. He'll allow her to go so she can go and come back with her assignment. And her assignment was going to be her breakthrough. Somebody in here need to shout. I'm glad she went. Because she went, she came back with Ruth. And because she came back with Ruth, she nabbed Boaz. And when she nabbed Boaz, Boaz is the father of Obed. And Obed is the father of Jesse. And Jesse is the father of David. And David is from the line of Jesus. And because he went, because they went left for her, God brought a righteous king. Let me talk about harvest. He sent her out, she was empty. He sent her out, she had a bad mindset. When she came back, she came right back at the right time because it was harvest time. And anytime it was harvest time, you got to have capacity to receive. And now God was saying, I sent you back. You got the right mind to receive. You're in the right place to receive. And it's at the right time to receive. It's harvest time. I'm about to pour into you everything you lost. I'm about to pour back to you everything that you lost. Thank God that he returns us at a designated time. Thank God he returns us to get it at harvest time. You ought to shout to your neighbor and tell him, I feel like it's harvest time. I don't care where I've been. I don't care what I've done. Because Jesus died so I can have a harvest in spite of my road, in spite of my weakness. Yes, on a hill called Calvary. He died. Didn't he die? But bright early Sunday morning, every night you got to go down so you can come up. Every night you got to give up so you can get what you need. Thank God for the harvest. Told her we'll come back now. It's the time to come back. Come on back down. It's harvest time. Could you imagine the people in that room? Woo, Brother Myron, I really want to shout. Because when I'm thinking about the text, Boaz had been in Bethlehem for a long time. He was the most eligible bachelor that was available. And none of the holy sisters could get him. Because though they had left the land, they still had the wrong disposition. Brother Robert may want to cut this piece off. Won't cut it off. Rubber saved me.
That's all right. Go ahead, Pastor. Do what you do.
They didn't have the right mindset.